Hi there, Allison. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for having me. I'm
No.
coming at you live from my apartment in Brooklyn.
Awesome. Awesome. Hey, we just heard a really wonderful performance of Faking My Own Death. And I just wanted to remind folks of that last EP you had and your new EP. So excited. Shaking Hands with Elvis. We're going to dig into that title in a moment. But first, Allison, I had to say, you were interviewed by Elton John. You were interviewed by Elton John.
Yeah, true. I mean,
Wow.
thank you. I mean, it's, one of the greatest moments of my life. And I can officially die now. And I mean, he's a hero to me in so many ways, not just in music, but also in LGBTQ activism as well. So yeah, kind of the coolest thing that's ever happened to me. No big deal.
That is pretty cool. No big deal. And then here you are slumming with me. Well, I thank you for stopping by. This is so good. So tell me about the experience you've had over the past year or so as you sort of grew into this EP. Tell me about how this happened.
Well, I had an EP come out last year called Faking My Own Death, and this year the EP that I put out is called Shaking Hands with Elvis. The first EP was my first foray into just making any kind of project that had multiple songs on it. That was me, that was the visuals I wanted. It was my first introduction to the world, and I learned a lot from it. This EP, I think, is less about me finding myself like the first one was, and it's more about me coming to terms with my weaknesses or insecurities or maybe other things other people don't understand about me. It's really about me shouting the things I'm most insecure about into the void, and it was really empowering to write. Shaking Hands with Elvis is all about growth, and I'm really glad that I learned a lot about myself through it.
So was it easy to do that? Was it easy to shout out into the void these insecurities, or was that kind of daunting?
I mean, it's always hard. This was, some songs are easier than others to write. For example, Hardcore is a song I made about me being very sensitive, me feeling too sensitive. And that song was easier to write because I have so many big feelings about it. I always was the kid that cried at the drop of a hat as a child. And uh, just to juxtapose that, the song Shaking Hands with Elvis, the title track, was really hard to write because it was about my first time experiencing loss.
Mhm.
One of my friends from childhood passed away, and it was really, really hard song to write because I had never experienced anything like that before. So some songs are easier than others.
Yeah, and I would imagine. And was writing that song though helpful to you?
Absolutely. I wasn't planning on writing about it at all.
Mm.
I found out when I was like right before I was about to write a bunch of songs with people I love and care about. And I to myself was like, I will not write about this. And then I got there, and one of the other writers um, made me feel so comfortable. Actually, both of the writers made me feel extremely comfortable. And I was flipping through my journal and saw the title "Shaking Hands with Elvis." I'd written the title a long time ago. It's just a euphemism for someone that has passed away, and I just thought of the whole concept immediately and was like, we gotta write this song.
We're talking with Allison Ponthier. Her EP is called Shaking Hands with Elvis, and we're going to hear that song a little bit later on. You talked about how you sort of have been able to take control of like your own visuals and all that stuff, and I did want to talk a little bit about those visuals because there's some kind of camp thing going on here, and you got a little bit of a thing going on with death and morbidity. What's going on there?
It's funny because for people who cannot see me right now, I like set up a purple light in my room with all of my like movie artifacts. But I am just a huge fan of the things I've found comforting as a child. And I grew up in Texas. I think it was really uncommon for people around me to talk about death, to talk about loss, to talk about difficult topics. And so I was really drawn to like Henry Selick and Tim Burton films and Goosebumps and all of those things that felt really taboo but beautiful. And so all of my visuals are based off of like campy 1950s horror or sci-fi in the 60s. I just love things that are whimsical and fun, but help you talk about difficult topics like death or um, like feeling like you have no idea who you are in your life, or even coming out in my case.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. Well, I'm really glad that you're doing this because it's fun, and it kind of has that throwback feel to it, and yet still has a very fresh vibrancy to it, which I think you've done a great job there. Um, the song Late Bloomer, you and I talked, I think, last when that song had just come out, and you put it on the EP. I was so excited. Tell folks about that song. That's an important song for you, isn't it?
So no one knows this, but originally Late Bloomer was not supposed to be a part of the full EP, but it really ended up being the mission statement of the second EP. I feel like the second EP is all about my weaknesses being shouted until I realize they're actually my strengths. And that's what Late Bloomer is. It's a song about feeling like maybe I didn't mature as fast as everyone else. Maybe my path was different, but I'm happy that it's that way because I get to look at life through a lens like I am still young, like I still don't know everything. And I never want to feel like I know everything. And I never want to feel like there's nothing left for me to make a mistake on or to learn from.
Oh, those are great words to live by. The song Autopilot. Tell me about this song.
It's funny because autopilot, when I get asked about it, a lot of people tell me what they think it means, but I'm just going to say what it means. I'm afraid of driving. That's what the song is about. The song is about my phobia of driving. And it's funny because I'll talk to people and I do think there is a deeper meaning to the song. I have a lot of feelings of inadequacy or fear or feeling different than other people because I am so scared of driving and I am 26 years old and don't have my license. But people will be like, oh, I think it's about this and this and this. And I'm like, you're right. But originally the song was just a song about how I have a horrible phobia of driving.
Oh my. Oh my.
People who can't drive need to stick together. We just can't reach each other because we can't drive to each other.
That's right. That's right. Well, we're going to hear that song and another one, and then we'll be right back. So we're speaking with Allison Ponthier. Her new EP is Shaking Hands with Elvis, and some really cool performances of the songs from the EP. We just heard Hollywood Forever Cemetery. Tell me about that one. That was a cool song.
So this song to me is, if I had to show someone who had never met me before, never heard any of my music and didn't know me as a person, something about me to describe who I am, I would probably show them Hollywood Forever Cemetery because it's a song again about death, but it's a song about death that isn't dark or isn't scared of itself. I think that I wanted to write a song about a place that people who worked in entertainment, especially famous women, go after they die and they're appreciated. There's a lot of people, namely, for example, Marilyn Monroe, who were not treated as they should have been treated when they were alive. And I wanted to think of a place for her where she felt loved and appreciated. And she was a person, not just a one-dimensional figure.
Hmm. That you tend to do that. You tend to walk into these spaces where it seems like nobody's ever walked before. You're talking about a person that everybody you see a picture of Marilyn Monroe, you know exactly who it is without even seeing the whole picture, right?
Mhm.
And there you are, sort of inhabiting that space. What drives you to do something like that?
I think that, so I didn't grow up in the entertainment industry. I grew up in Texas. I wasn't surrounded by people who did this as a job. And the more I get to have my dream job every day, I'm very aware that, there are cons that come with it. And there are people who went in entertainment before me who were incredible and iconic and trailblazed, and still the world didn't treat them right. And I think as a songwriter, I'm just extremely attracted to writing about things that doesn't already have a song. I want to make soundtracks to things that don't have music to them yet. And that was just something that I always felt attracted to writing about. And it's really important to me that I make music that fulfills a purpose that hasn't been there yet. It's really hard. There's a lot of amazing songwriters out there, but it's something that makes me excited about making songs.
Yeah, well, that's cool. Well, I appreciate you doing that. And it's interesting that you say you want to make a soundtrack for these things, because I listen to your music, and oftentimes it feels like it is the soundtrack to something I haven't seen yet, or something I'm not sure what, but I think it's really cool. Very cool.
Thank
Talking
you.
with yeah, talking with Allison Ponthier. Her record is called "Shaking Hands with Elvis," and I know we talked a little bit about this song. I just want to say I'm so sorry for your loss. It's a beautiful song, a lovely, lovely way to remember that person.
Thank you. Loss is very complicated, and I just personally have heard that there's no right way to cope, but when you can find just little pockets of dopamine or relief or happy memories, you got to chase them while you can. And that's what this song has been for me. And I hope it is for other people. But it really has helped me a lot. So thank you.
Allison, thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
Thank you.